Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm Ian Smith with fedsmith.com. Can you believe it's Christmas already? It seems like it was just a month or so ago. I was just starting to enjoy the spring weather, the arrival of the warm weather, and here we are. It's the end of 2025 practically already. It's crazy. But speaking of Christmas, that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. What is the possibility of federal employees getting an extra holiday around Christmas this year? And I'll say right up front, I think it's a pretty good possibility. And I'm going to get into the details of why that is. Also, I wanted to mention up front, my colleague Ralph Smith wrote an excellent article on this that goes into a lot of details. And I will be sure to leave a link to that in the description so you can check that out. But let's get into it. We looked at the last 80 or 85 years or so worth of data on this subject um, to see what the leave patterns were around giving federal employees an extra holiday at Christmas. And there are a couple factors in particular that influence presidents' decisions on this. One is the day of the week that Christmas falls on, and the other is a president's willingness to issue goodwill gestures just in general. Um, but presidents often grant a full holiday on Christmas Eve when it falls on a Monday or a Tuesday. Midweek dates, however, like Wednesday, Thursday, it's much less likely. Um, there have been 11 full day closures for Christmas Eve since 1940. None of those have been on a Wednesday. There have been 13 half day closures for Christmas Eve since 1946, and only one of those was on a Wednesday, and that was President Truman in 1947. So that gives you some idea of the rarity of Wednesday, if Wednesday is Christmas Eve, getting that off. And in 2025, Wednesday is Christmas Eve. So that doesn't look like such a great possibility. The day after Christmas, however, is another story. And that's the key for this year because the day after Christmas this year is on a Friday. And there has been a strong historical pattern of days off for when Christmas is on a Friday. There have been 10 instances of presidents giving federal employees a full day off for the day after Christmas since 1952. Now, what about President Trump? If you look back at his first term, it gives us some important clues about how he has handled this in the past and therefore what he might be more likely to do in his second term. He gave Christmas Eve off on 3 different occasions in 2018, 2019, and 2020. And this was even when the calendar really didn't support it, because in 2018, Christmas Eve was on a Monday. 2019, it was on a Tuesday, and in 2020, it was on a Thursday. So that shows that he has a willingness to deviate from historical norms in terms of what other presidents have done on this. So the relevance to this year is that that may bode well for federal employees who are hoping to get an extra day off. Trump did it a lot in his first term, and since the day after Christmas in particular is on a Friday, it seems like there's a higher possibility, taking all of that into account. There is, of course, no way to predict the future, so don't make any extra vacation plans just yet. But again, based on past precedent, it does look like federal employees have a pretty good chance at seeing some extra time off around Christmas this year. If an extra holiday is announced, my guess is we'll know in the next couple of weeks. But stay tuned to FedSmith because if and when any updates are announced on this, we will be posting them. So be sure to like and subscribe to our channel here. Also visit the fedsmith.com website. You can visit that anytime. We also have a free email list on there to give you updates through email. And also be on the lookout for the pay raise information for 2026. That comes out mid to late December every year. And again, FedSmith will have all the details on that as soon as it's available. Based on what we know right now, it looks like most federal employees are probably going to get an average 1% pay raise next year. But of course, like I said, as soon as information is available, we will let you know. Thanks for watching and Merry Christmas, everyone.